Chiroma died at the age of 91. Is Nigeria ready for population census? That's one of the questions we're asking on the show today. The Chairman House Committee on Population, Okunjimi Odimayo, has expressed satisfaction with the level preparedness of the National Population Commission to conduct the upcoming first digital population and housing census in Nigeria. And he said this a month back while briefing journalists after the budget defense. He did add that already over 250 billion naira had been expended on the preparations for the population and housing census, warning that if the delay continues, NPC would be compelled to buy some items again, which the Commission already brought. He joins me live on the program, Chairman House Committee on Population, Okunjimi Odimayo. Thank you so much for talking to us on the program today.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Welcome on the show, Honorable. So you've been talking about the preparedness of NPC to conduct what they call the first digital census in Nigeria. If the Commission is ready, what is responsible for the delay?
Thank you very much. I appreciate you. And good evening, my audience. My name is Omoba Okunjimi Odimayo, and I speak. I'm currently a member of the House of Representatives, representing Irele Oktikpa Federal Constituency. I'm from Ondo State. Thank you. As you know, that National Population Commission, by virtue of their act, they are charged with the responsibility of conducting census, and the act is pretty clear, pretty clear on how this should be done. But for Nigeria, I think we are lagging behind now. The act specifically mentioned that this should be reviewed every 13 years, but it's over 15 years now. And as we have known, is that this exercise was postponed because it's very close to the end of a tenure. And now that the new administration is in place, we are hoping that this administration will do the needful by making a public proclamation on the day of census.
You know, the concern, Honorable, with census has been the accuracy of the data and how verifiable the figures are. I remember speaking with a Federal Commissioner of the NPC a year ago who said that though there's a personal digital assistant that will be used during the exercise, but there's no plan to capture biometrics during the exercise. Does that bother you? Does that not defeat the whole purpose of using technology?
Thank you very much. The question of biotechnology and digital was something that I personally, when they came for their presentation, I actually raised a concern on. But when you listen to them, I think census specifically, the way the world see it is different from the way we see it in Nigeria. Because actually, as a growing company, as a growing country, this data, when you look at the amongst the amount of money that we put into it, you will know that there are a lot of things that are supposed to go in tandem with it. But talking to them and with their explanations, I think they have the international committee has a reservation when it comes to biometric. So although we advise them to maybe to give it other names, but they still emphasize that the international community norms does not give approval to biometric. But the most important aspect of it is that they are going digital, and this will guarantee the accuracy of the data and to what we have seen, even despite the security challenge, we are very sure that with the exercise that they will go, that it will capture accurately 99% of Nigeria.
All right. You know, the argument for biometrics is a very logical one because you have a unique fingerprint that no one in the world shares, and that's perhaps how you can be sure that someone doesn't register twice. We've heard stories of how religion and ethnicity have gotten in the way of previous exercises. We've heard stories about places where you can't access the wife and the woman. The man goes in and tells you the number of people inside. But with the use of biometrics, no one can be counted twice. That perhaps is the argument. But your committee recently probed the 200 billion naira reportedly spent on the suspended census. There are stories about millions of naira used on social media and the millions of naira gotten from UNICEF. What was your finding when you met with the commission?
Thank you very much. You know, when it comes to figure, because my background is accounting, and also I'm also a chartered accountant, so we are very careful when it comes to figure. With our findings, although we invited them, and currently the investigation is going on, but the fact is that you know, this amount is not there is nowhere that 200 billion was allocated or appropriated to NPC. It's an ongoing process. And the thing has even started over 3 or 4 years ago, because you can't start. Census is something that is done in, is a progressive thing. So you cannot, if you want to do census in 3 months' time, you can't start today. There are some things that must be put in place. So for so far, so good. A petition was laid to the House, and we are currently looking into it. And what we have seen so far, they've been able to, at least for those tablets that was bought, we've been able to track them. They've actually purchased some equipment for the census, which we have actually seen, and the investigation is still ongoing, and we've adjourned to another day. But at least with what we have seen so far, there is actually value for money. What was purchased was adequately represented, but I cannot tell you precisely this is the end of it, but only that what we have seen so far have shown that actually some asset has been bought, and it's still ongoing.
So what did you mean when you said that if we don't have the counting done now, we might be spending money on the same thing we've spent money on before?
Thank you very much. As the chairman of the committee, and when this commission came to come and brief us, I actually weep, because I am a private operator. I'm coming from the private. I'm coming from the private sector, where when we put one error in any project, we have to see it to the end. And in the normal accounting world, a capital project is a project where you start, you can't stop. So I want to liken the census to a capital project. If you start it, you have to end it. As we speak, we have spent a lot of money on census. We have put a lot of money in census. This money have been put into some certain asset that already now they are going bad. The issue of indelible ink, the issue of the tablet, even the warranty given to them as we speak, they cannot guarantee it, because when you are putting this into use, there may be a challenge. But some of this thing is actually going, there is eluding them. Medical, the amount expended for medical, as we speak, those drugs cannot be used again. There are a lot. So I'm afraid that Nigeria as a country put this so much on this exercise, and it seems concentration, we are not attending to it the way it should be attended to. So
you also talked about an oversight function to NPC offices to inspect the procurements made ahead of this exercise. Has that been done, or it's slated for a future time?
Actually, what we have just done is the one of Abuja here. We've visited them, and what we have seen so far, really, when we mention billions, it triggered concern in Nigeria. But what we have seen so far have actually showed that the Commission has appropriately utilized what was given to them. And when we went to their head office, when we went to their head office, is actually what we have seen so far. I think we are satisfied, and right. we will still go to. We have divided ourselves to their various state visit because we were told that most of these assets are kept in CBN. We want to go and see them before we conclude our report.
All right, we'll talk about politics shortly, but that'll be after this break.